What is happening, you wonderful people? So I got a chance to go see A Complete Unknown earlier, and this is a new Bob Dylan biopic starring Timothee Chalamet, Ed Norton, Elle Fanning, and a whole bunch of great actors and actresses. And I had no expectations for this film either. I really didn't. But let's talk about it. So, in A Complete Unknown, we followed the true life story of Bob Dylan, how he started out as a complete unknown and how he became such a iconic and a very well-known popular music star that people listen to nowadays and listen to back then, and I am not a fan of Bob Dylan. I don't listen to him at all. Like I heard his songs I think before, and I heard them now after seeing the film. But I want to talk about my positives first, and then my negatives. That's kind of how I do it over here. Um, I didn't really like the film that much. I think it's just fine. It's not the worst film I've seen ever. It's not the worst film of this year. I know this movie's getting some Oscar buzz, and there are some really good things about this film, but I just wasn't feeling it that much. Starting off with my positives, I think that Timothée Chalamet is such a great actor. He's a great actor. I know that. Y'all all know that. He's an up and coming actor still, and he's still right now, one of the greatest actors in the game. Like I love Dune Part Two, and there's a few movies with him I haven't seen, but the way he plays Bob Dylan in this film, his acting is off the charts, man. It really is. He plays Bob Dylan like a very big jerk mixed with this like nonchalant, like, oh, it's all about me and it's my way or the highway. Like, I want it done my way. I don't want it done your way. I want it done like this right then and there. And it works for the most part how his portrayal of Bob Dylan was written. And I get how whoever the writer is for this film, it might have been James Mangold because he directed this film. And, I love Logan. I like Ford v Ferrari. I am not the biggest fan of The Wolverine. I like the last Indiana Jones film. I know a lot of people don't. I do. And I think he directed this film really well, and it's directed well. It really is. And um I think that, like I said, like I mentioned, the acting is great. The acting is really great. And the writing's good. I think the dialogue is good. I think that the music is amazing in this film, and it actually gets you pumped up. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not. I had chills at point times. I had chills, and there's a moment there. The last concert at the end of the film was really good, really good. And there was a point during the middle of the movie that almost saved it. Like I was like, "Are we getting back? Is this actually going to save the film for me?" And it didn't. It still didn't save the film. And I was like, "Oh man!" Like at that point, I was like, "Man!" And then the last part of the film with the last concert, I was like, this might actually save it or something like that. And it didn't do it. But Ed Norton, can we talk about Ed Norton? Haven't seen Ed Norton in a long time, but I love his character in this film. He's like a father figure, good angel type character. I really like how he portrayed his character and how Pete's his name. I like how his character was written, and you have Elle Fanning. I feel bad for her in this film, what she has to go through. And Timothée Chalamet in this film was kind of, let's just say, not loyal to her in this film. And I just feel bad for her in this film, but she did a really good job. She really did. And the other girl in this film who plays Joan, I think is her name. Don't know the actress's name, but she's really good. She was really good in this. And I've seen her in something else. I don't remember what, but she was really good. And you have the guy, I forgot the guy's name, but he played the villain in Logan. He plays Johnny Cash in this film. And I loved his character, man. And I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan. Like, I grew up listening to Johnny Cash, top five artists of all time, in my opinion. And the way he played Johnny Cash, he was fun to watch in this film. He was absolutely fun to watch. And he was also nonchalant and just there and like the best friend by your side and the guy who's like, yeah, I'm the chill guy, man. Like, yeah, like it was so cool to see. And he looked like Johnny Cash. And he sounded like Johnny Cash when he sang. And that's the thing with Timothy Chalamet in this film. I guess he looks like Bob Dylan. I actually don't know what Bob Dylan really looks like in real life. And I actually don't really know what he sounds like, but I'm guessing that's kind of the same thing. But overall, all the acting was great in this film. And there are some really, really good things about this film. There's so many good things. But that's all I really have to say that's positive about this film, man. It's so moving over to my negatives, I actually really don't have many negatives. I mean, I have a few negatives, but not very many, But the problem with this film, you have films like Bob Marley, One Love, which I was super excited for because my favorite artist of all time is Bob Marley. Got that from my mom, and I love his music. His music is so soothing. And when my mom was pregnant with me, she was listening to Bob Marley, and apparently when at one point when she was pregnant with me years ago, I was moving around when she was listening to Bob Marley. So that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. So I was excited for that film. Didn't really like that film. Bohemian Rhapsody, I enjoyed that film for what it was. And this film is just your standard musical biopic. That's what it is. And it doesn't do anything new. It doesn't do anything different. It doesn't lay the groundwork for new upcoming biopics. It doesn't. And it just stays in that bubble of doing the same thing as these other biopics do. You have your main character who came from nothing and became this big icon and has a love, and something goes wrong with their relationship and then they die a certain way, and it's the same thing you've seen over and over and over. And another issue I have is this movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes. Without credits is probably 2 hours and I don't know 12 5 6 7 minutes, something like that. It is so dead gum long. It is so long. And I'm just sitting there checking my watch just over and over again. And I'm just like, I'm just ready to go home. I'm ready to go home. Like it's just, it drags and it just goes on and on. And you're just sitting there, your head's throbbing, and you're just sitting there just like, can I go now? Can I go? Like, it's just, oh my gosh, it just drags, and I wasn't overly bored. I will say that. I was not overly bored with the film because talking about the pacing, I didn't think the pacing was bad in the sense of me being bored. I think the pacing was bad in the sense of it being a long film, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't mind the pacing. Like, I wasn't really bored. Like, for the pacing, I was bored maybe a little bit, but not overly bored. So, not overly bored at all. But it just goes on and on and on. And I'm just like, so, like, overall, there's some really good things about it. There's some really good things about it. But at the same time, it just ends up falling flat for the most part. It just ends up being okay. And it just ends up being your standard biopic. And I don't need to watch it again. And if I'm not a Bob Dylan fan, so this doesn't really interest me in the first place, if that makes sense. So that'll wrap up this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, share on this video. We are at 614 subs. Next big milestone is 700. We're coming up on that quickly. Then 8 and 9, the big one is 1K and beyond that. And if you're new as well, I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, trailer reactions, movie live streams, movie news, all that wonderful movie stuff under the movie umbrella. And let's talk about it down below. Did y'all get a chance to see A Complete Unknown? If so, did y'all like it? Did y'all not like it? Are y'all a fan of Bob Dylan? If y'all are a fan of Bob Dylan, what is y'all's favorite song? Let's talk about it down below. Keep on talking about movies, my wonderful people. Cheers.